Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tobias Gilk. I work with and for Mednovus, manufacturer of ferromagnetic detection systems, and with Radiology Planning, an architectural design and consultancy firm. My remarks today are really not going to be related specifically to either one of those. I'm going to speak more broadly to MRI safety. In addition to my role with those companies, on the screen are a bunch of my participations over the years in various MR safety efforts and initiatives. Many of you may have seen versions of this slide or this graphic previously. I've been publishing iterations of this for several years. This is the reports year over year into the FDA's MAUDE database. And Mr. Steckner's comments about the failings of the MAUDE database are absolutely correct, but I do feel as though, number one, since it's the only available resource out there that helps us quantify MR accidents, it would be foolish of us to ignore its utility. And number two, whatever errors there are in the system, I think at least we can look at it year over year, and presumably, whatever was wrong with the system in 2005 was probably equally wrong with it in 2007. So we can take a look at year over year. I'd like to present this data in a slightly different format today. I'd like to take a look at MR safety, the rates of reported accidents, using the year 2000 as a baseline. If we look at the year 2000, from year 2000 to 2009, MAUDE records 523% increase in MR accidents. If we look over the same period of time, data from IMV in terms of change in total procedure volume, that over the same time frame there's been a 90% increase, it's actually slightly less than 90%, in total MR procedure volume. So the gap between the red curve and the blue curve represents the degree to which we have failed to manage safety with the growth of MR. Now you notice in this illustration there's a noticeable kink that occurs very shortly after the 2001 Colombini fatality and the 2002 release of the initial ACR white paper on MR safety. It is my opinion that following an accident that grabbed the industry's attention and corrective measures that were released the following year, we had a brief period in the recent history of MR safety in which the industry responded. And in fact, we bent that accident curve below the growth curve for the one and only spot on this graph in the year 2004. What happened after year 2004? Well, it wasn't for a lack of additional guidance. We had two additional releases of the ACR white paper, then renamed the ACR guidance document, and also release of Joint Commission Sentinel Event Alert 38. None of these additional pieces of recommendation from the industry have really done anything to bend that curve in the direction we would like to see. Why is it that these best practice recommendations haven't responded to MR safety? The key word is recommendations. There is not a single regulatory, accreditation, or state licensure body that has physical safety requirements in point of care for MR safety that would prevent the 2001 Colombini accident from recurring. Not one state licensure, not one accrediting body, nobody has physical safety requirements at the point of care that would prevent that accident or the thousands of others that occur. So what do we actually need to provide appropriate protections for MR safety? And first, let me state that the question of MR safety is not a question of the safety of the device. Virtually all of the accidents that occur are point of care related accidents and not directly attributable to the MR device. What do we need to protect these patients? We need objective, measurable MR safety standards. We need true, false, pass, fail, yes, no, do you have it, do you not? Measures to assure some fundamental, foundational level of MR safety at the point of care. On this slide, Dr. Emmanuel Canal and I did an evaluation of 2 years of each and every MR adverse event in the MAUDE database from the years 2009, 2010, for those that we could identify causation, which was slightly less than half of those in the cohort, for those that we were able to identify causation, we tested them against explicit true, false, yes, no, pass, fail kinds of criteria in both the Joint Commission Sentinel Event Alert 38 and the ACR guidance document. The Sentinel Event Alert mitigated about 65% of all of those accidents. The ACR guidance document mitigated about 85% of all of those accidents in the 2 years of MAUDE data. 85% mitigation from this one document. Well, why do we not mitigate 85% of these accidents? Because nobody is actually required, not even the ACR requires of it of its own accredited facilities, to utilize the guidance document and the safety precepts therein to protect patients. So my request to the FDA, to the professional community, is to adopt objective, measurable MR safety standards. And if you don't know where to start, if you don't have a jumping off place, I would very strongly recommend that you use the ACR guidance document and the precepts therein as the starting point for point of care MR safety requirements. And with that, thank you very much.